west on Chandler.
Feliz Navidad, prosperos años y felicidad. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to. Bro, is that the same Prius from earlier? What? What? Your dogs are traumatized. My dogs are going crazy for a little bit of while. Then I took them out on the balcony and they chilled out. They were actually seemed like they were just chilling and enjoying it. But they were, for a little while, they were going crazy, running all around. They're going nuts.
And if you are just joining us here in News Chapter 4, we are over a pursuit with the San Fernando Police Department. This is a pursuit that started in Pacoima, and the want, we believe, is failure to yield and stolen vehicle. And now we picked this thing up a couple of minutes ago. Now we are northbound on Vineland. We've done some circles here in the valley. We started on the 170, got off the 170 onto Victory. Then we just sort of been circling around the Burbank area. It has been low speeds, but we've seen this thing run some red lights here. Police keeping a very close distance, a 2 or 3 car length distance at these very low speeds, but we'll continue to monitor their speed to see if it gets dangerous. But right now we are northbound on Vineland through Collins, waiting to see what police do. If the low speed continues, they might just...
What's going on with the Priuses too, man? What is going on?
Low speeds, but we've seen this thing, considering we're underneath pit limits, but we're going to keep...
Is ABC there yet? I said ABC was going too. Happy 4th of July, guys. Happy 4th. Hope you guys are doing good. Relax. Chilling.
So the want we know is stolen vehicle on this red Prius. I'm trying to get zoomed in to maybe see who's driving this thing. We can't get a good look, but if you look in the trunk, it just looks like Target bags and grocery bags, and it's a Prius, so, you know, those two things, definitely somebody's daily driver, their daily commuter car here. Not exactly a car known for its speed, but if this thing has a full tank of gas, this could be a very long pursuit at these speeds.
A threat.
Now we're through another green light, through Victory again, done a full circle here, ended up back in North Hollywood as we're still north on Vineland. San Fernando PD in close pursuit here, and we heard it on LAPD as well. LAPD getting tipped off as well. We'll see what other agencies join this thing, but it looks like right now it's just San Fernando PD sort of dropping back a bit, maybe keeping an eye on this thing. We'll bring up the maps tab here, show you guys a look at the addresses, and then maybe take a guess here at the speed.
Oh, Island Thrift, thank you so much. Thank you for the 20. Happy birthday, America.
So actually through Van Noen on a red, there we go. We're westbound now on Van Noen.
On the screen too. Let's fix this.
Trying to get an idea of the speed. I think once we stabilize this thing, going about 45 as this car starts to go underneath us here. And we've been keeping these speeds so far. I haven't seen anything too dangerous besides running these red lights, but we'll just have to see what this person's plan is as they continue to circle around. You saw the airship in the bottom of your frame there. There's a couple cars here. We saw at least 4 when we picked this thing up in addition to the airship.
All right.
Now, as long as we stay on majors, this thing's going to keep going, but we know as soon as that thing turns onto a side street that perhaps you start looking out for that foot bail. But as it stands now, it just took a right there on Tahunga. Now we're going to be northbound Tahunga, and it is a very, relatively at least, very low-speed pursuit here. Only doing about 35, and there's a truck blocking it. It's just going to go around it, but there's someone else that jumps onto the sidewalk, goes over that ramp.
Hey!
The police following a little bit behind. The Prius did not see that coming.
He needs some milk.
Oh, I'm legally blind. Oh, pip squad.
Still here on Tahunga. It got through that pretty well. Hey, George, I'm shooting out like 5 o'clock right now.
I'm trying to update the thumbnail when I can.
Yeah, I'm shooting out like 5 o'clock at the moment. It's going northbound.
putting in work.
At least I think it is. Yeah, I'm shooting out like way 5 o'clock. You're all good. It's about 9 o'clock right now.
Happy fall. We got to switch broadcast.
5 o'clock, about a mile. You're good. About a mile up there.
Happy birthday, America, United States.
So we're still seeing those low speeds here, even though we did just come across that tractor trailer. Coming up to a red light, we'll see what this driver decides to do. We know when they stop at these red lights, we sort of see police almost pull up next to it, pull up behind it. Definitely trying to relay something to the driver, tell them to pull over, put this thing to a stop. But we're through Satakoy, still on to Hunga here. We were in the North Hollywood area. We've made our way to the Sun Valley area.
Miracle Stone, thank you for the 50. I wish my sound was working, my sound effect board. I can fix that. All right, you're working.
Still on to Hunga, still basically doing the speed limit. About 40, 45. Cops, maybe it backed off a little bit after that tractor trailer, but not by much. We're through a red light there with no brakes, through a red light there to Hunga and Strathern. Really working our way up into Sun Valley here.
I almost bought a Prius one time. Almost bought a used one.
Wash.
That was going to be a horrible mistake.
A lot of empty road here for that car.
Back in the day.
On to Hunga as we get through this industrial area up here. We see the Prius sort of blast through these red lights, and then the cops have to slow down, check both ways. But this thing, besides just keeping a solid 45 right through that stop sign, though, but besides keeping a 45, it's a low speed, but somehow still dangerous pursuit. So if you are in Sun Valley, look out on the majors. And now we turned right, and we are headed to a dead end. This Prius is pulled into a dead end. We're going to have to see what happens here.
Screwed up.
It's pulled up to the gate.
What are you thinking? Bust the gate. Bust
I don't know if they expected that or what. Are they going to try and ram the gate? They're going to try and ram the gate. They got through it.
Let's fucking go.
I would have never guessed a
Mel needed a glass of milk.
Into an industrial lot. We're through the other side and jumped onto San Fernando parallel to train tracks. Look at the damage on the front of that car.
Woo! That Prius, man. It's a good advertisement. Their stock's increasing. There's nobody in the, let's see, chopper. That thing is hauling ass.
And now we have really picked up speed. This thing's doing over 80 on San Fernando. George is northbound San Fernando.
Oh, yeah.
You can see extensive damage there to the windshield. Once we get in front of this thing, we'll get a better look at that. That Prius got pretty banged up trying to go through that.
Wow.
Trying to go through that that gate there. But it made it. It made it in one piece. It might have even broke the gate.
Let's go.
And now we are whipping it on San Fernando, getting up to about 80 in this thing. We're going to have to see what's ahead of this car, because we're definitely coming up to a red light here. And we just see trucks pulling over. We know it's right through a yellow there.
Lights. What's up with this car?
Seeing cops in close pursuit as we parallel the train tracks here on San Fernando. But you can see just how
crazy, dude.
Just how damaged that thing is from that incident. I mean, it took on the gate full blast. So still high speeds now. We're high speeds coming up to another light probably here on San Fernando as we work our way from Sun Valley. Yep, coming up to that red right here. We got the brake lights on, we're going to see, and we're going to commit right through it. Coming up through the construction zone here. We're going to have to see where this Prius decides to go. Not sure if it knew that that street would be closed off. Don't know how well they know this area, so maybe we'll see them stick to the majors from here on out. You can just see the damage of that thing when it hit the gate.
Heads up to join up. Damn, he busted. What's going on with the driver's side? I wonder. Did it kind of like cave into it?
We're gonna really punch in here and take a look at what's going on there.
Yeah,
it looks like
front cave
maybe
in?
the airbag went off. Something happened in there. That appears to be that the center column, I forget what that part of the car is called, the something column, looks like that's broken, and the windshield might as well be in the driver's lap from what I can tell. So that's what I think you're seeing hanging out of the window there. Debris from the window, debris from the car itself, and it actually looks like it might have damaged the alignment from the way that the car is positioned. It looks like they're kind of trying to have to fight that down the straight line here of San Fernando. Not that it's the smoothest street, especially in this part. But we'll zoom out here in Pacoima now, worked our way up to Pacoima. Northbound San Fernando still passing over Pierce Street. And really, really getting high up in the speeds here.
ABC's there too.
Not sure what their plan was when they pulled into that gate, but...
Ooh, ABC has a really nice clear view. Let's check this shit out. Holy moly. What is this, Transformers? Oh, they don't have any audio, though. Wow. Yo, how is he just driving like that? Like nothing's going on. Wow. All right, I think what I'll do is maybe I'll leave the audio for the other video. We'll keep watching ABC. Hold on a second. Bruh. Wow. Oh my God, I gotta update the thumbnail again because that looks such a clear, beautiful picture. Look at this guy. Was it a kid? It's a kid? What the heck?
The windshield, pieces of the windshield are just resting on the dash.
I gotta make a quick clip.
Pieces of the car are resting on the door there. So at the very least, we can say that cabin's getting cramped. But we are right through a green light, thankfully. A green light on Laurel Canyon. Coming up to the 5. This thing was on the 170 before, so I would not be surprised to see it get on the 5 and sort of try to pick a direction and go on the freeway. But we'll see. We're underneath the 5 here. Underneath that big overpass of the 5. And we're braking, we're queuing up. Nope, faked them. Tried it, thought about getting on the 5, went right past it. That probably works in the movies, but it's very slow and obvious when you're watching it in real life. We're coming up to a congested red light here. It's going to take the shoulder, and it's going to squeak right through that red, but it's going to turn green, so police will still be right behind this thing.
Great.
Still westbound, made our way into Arleta.
He looks young.
Arleta area here.
His hair's just flailing all over the place.
Give you a wide look at what we have upcoming on a mostly empty Van Nuys Boulevard on this 4th of July.
Yo, you're right. He's lucky his head
Some
didn't
people
come
went
off.
to the beach.
Some people
chose to do fireworks, which I'm sure we'll start to see in the frame. And this person stole a Prius. And that's where we are over this thing. Now, we've been over this for about 20-ish minutes, I'd say. This is a stolen vehicle. San Fernando PD is in pursuit. We picked this thing up on the 170. It got off the 170. It got onto Victory and sort of made its way around the valley. Oh, and we're going to cut through this red light. Wrong way across the street to the south side. Now we're on Woodman, southbound on Woodman from Van Nuys. Whew. So we're southbound Woodman. We're still picking up some decent speed. Let me bring up the speedometer and get a look. Well, I guess that's not any faster than normal traffic on Woodman. Doing about 50 or so. We'll start to see. I would assume as this goes on, police are going to have to start to make a decision here whether or not they're going to pit this vehicle if it keeps driving a bit more dangerously like this. But thankfully, through a green light, through an area that looked like it just had a takeover, truthfully. Still southbound here on Woodman. I think we just passed Terabella, coming up on Cagle Canyon. There's that line of police after this thing, coming up to a red light from the looks of it. We're going to have to see. It shoots over to the right lane. It shoots over to the shoulder, the right turn lane. Let's see if it postures for that turn. No, it goes right through the light, and it makes its way clean through Nordoff. Still on Woodman through Nordoff, right through that red light.
Busted through that gate.
Right through, what did we just cross over? Osborne, of course. Right through Osborne. Woodman and Osborne in the Arleta area. San Fernando PD keeping the same distance from this car we've seen for a little while here. Couple car lengths back, just really watching this thing, seeing. Now, Prius, not the fastest car in the world, but you know, on a full tank, this thing could get up to about I'd wager about 400 or 500 miles. So we'll have to see how much gas this thing has.
That's it? I thought it'd get more
Especially
than that. It's
with a nice
hybrid,
charged
right?
battery. We're getting up to almost 40 mpgs, but we are through Brantford there on the winding part of Woodman here as we're working our way through Arleta in conjunction. There's some fireworks on the left there. We'll start to just zoom out, give you a little look. It's 4th of July after all. You get an idea. We have about 3 vehicles in pursuit of this thing. Start to zoom in. The brakes are on. We approach a solid red light here on Roscoe. We're going to slow down a little bit and then get our way through Roscoe. We're sort of riding the wave. This driver sort of riding this wave of green lights on Woodman. Even the reds they come up to basically turn green right away. Except for that one. That is a clean red run on Lanark on Woodman.
Lying through. And
so I just got some information from the news desk. I misunderestimated a Prius's travel distance. Apparently, you can get up to 600 miles in city driving. That's crazy.
In city, wow.
Well, hopefully it doesn't have that much, because 600 miles at this speed, we'd be looking at about 10 hours of coverage. I think that's impossible. We are still on Woodman. We passed Stag. San Fernando PD still there. I had heard this pursuit a little bit on LAPD, maybe doing some sort of simulcast or something, but I thought that would have meant maybe they would pick it up, but San Fernando PD still here, still working this pursuit, keeping a healthy distance to it, and as the sun starts to set here in the valley, we are seeing more and more fireworks, so this coverage will only get more and more exciting as we start to see fireworks on all sides of the frame, and we'll make sure to point them out as we see it on this very beautiful 4th of July. This vehicle is now crossed over into Van Nuys. We are on Woodman, passing Wyandotte. I've never heard of that street before, but passing Wyandotte on Woodman here, coming up to a solid red. We're in one of the center lanes that could go through it. It hasn't shot it yet, maybe because it's a pretty big one here. It's Sherman Way. Police certainly getting close, getting on that megaphone, hollering at that Prius driver. Prius is going to shoot it on the green arrow for the opposite side of traffic and get onto Sherman Way. Now we are on Sherman Way, past Woodman, from Woodman. We see the tip there.
Yeah.
Now as we hold for traffic at Burbank Airport, we'll be covering this from a little bit afar, but you can see there on the edge of the buildings and the police cars. We're still working our way at about the speed we're used to. Still on Sherman Way there. Coming up to another major. Coming up to Hazeltine. Ooh, just dodged that. Just dodged that as all 3 of those cars came to a stop. That Prius just dodged, slamming into the back of whatever sedan that was. Oh, and now we got some more brake lights. They hear the police sirens. They put the brakes on. Creates havoc. We're in the wrong way on the left turn lane. We're going to probably shoot back in, but right now, wrong way on Sherman Way. This is not as easy as it was for them before, not as clear as San Fernando was, and there's somebody that knew the pursuit was coming and is filming it on their phone. Now, again, we see the driver's side. We can see all of that debris hanging off because if you're just joining us, when this car was in Arleta, it turned into an industrial lot, basically, a street that was gated off with a nice yellow iron gate that you'd see at a trailhead or something, and it just floored it, punched right through it, and did all of this damage to the front, all of this damage to the windshield, and that's why you see all of that detritus there on the left side. Some of the column, I thought it could have been an airbag, but maybe not, but definitely some windshield there. You can see all that cracked tempered glass. And now we've come up to a green light, again, seemingly riding the wave of green lights
kind of
on Sherman Way. I think.
Let me see if there's another one. Spoil it. Okay, listen here.
It's just the driver. Do we know if it's just this one suspect that police are chasing, or if someone else is in the car?
Is he drinking or no?
we've only seen the one suspect. We've got a pretty decent look, and here we're getting a look at him right now. I think that is a guy who's driving the vehicle. Haven't heard about anyone else in the vehicle, but yeah, you're right. I mean, you get up to 50, 60. I mean, they were up to 80 miles an hour, and it's like you may as well be sticking your head out the window. I mean, that is pretty uncomfortable to have, you know, air coming blasting in your face that high by virtue of that insane you know, evasionary tactic that we saw going through that fence. Still so crazy that we saw that. You just never know with these pursuits. Sometimes they just are very kind of, you know, docile is really the only way to put it, where they're just kind of tootling along at the speed limit, and then, you know, it changes at the push of a button, where they bust through a fence like that and start driving 80 miles an hour as we make the southbound turn now onto Sherman Way. So still in Van Nuys, but now we're kind of headed towards Sherman Oaks. And boy, San Fernando PD, they are on this one like a hawk. All three of them here. I would have to imagine that if they were going to do a pit maneuver, that they would have already tried it. We've had a couple of pretty decent opportunities. We're on another wide street, though. Let's see if they do set up for something like that here. You know, Sepulveda here just as wide as Sherman Way. 3 lanes, with that far right lane there being a bike lane, and there goes a cyclist right there. So, you know, if you were going to try to spin a vehicle around, this...
Yeah, ABC has, like, seems like the biggest delay. So the other channels are a little bit ahead, news channels. But ABC has, like, the best view. That's the thing right now. I mean, the CBS is not too bad. Let's take a look at this for a little bit.
This area and on this road, when he went through those intersections, he ran into a little traffic, but it seems like, the open street there.
Yeah, pretty open, pretty wide open. Like I said, you're definitely going to see folks out here, but I don't think we're going to see any heavy traffic, at least not until after the fireworks displays are over. And then, believe it or not, we will actually see probably about a half hour to 45 minutes of some pretty tough traffic across Southern California once everyone leaves those fireworks displays. But that's not going to be until, you know, probably 10:30 tonight that we'll start to see that. So these are going to be some overall pretty easy conditions for this suspect. There's not going to be any road work out here either. Caltrans takes the holidays off, so I wouldn't expect to see any closures like that. It's just a matter of where does this suspect think they're going, as they can add some red light tickets now to their traffic problems as the crosses the Orange Line busway. That's actually the only place in the city of Los Angeles left where you're going to find red light cameras anymore, or along the Orange Line busway. So they can expect to be getting some tickets in the mail in the next few weeks for that as well. Those are pretty expensive tickets. So as we cross the Orange Line busway, and we're again, you know, on a very, very busy street, but you see just how wide open everything is here. So paralleling the 405, not too far away from the Sepulveda Flood Basin and the 101 freeway. The next major street will be Burbank Boulevard, and we'll see what the suspect wants to do next.
Once again, this suspect leading police on a chase. This all started in San Fernando Valley. Police still giving chase to this suspect, now going westbound here on Burbank. Des, you talked about the pit maneuver earlier, and we talked about how this, I guess, this guy's strategy, no rhyme or reason, going on the side street one time, but we haven't seen him try to get away because on that side street, when he went past that gate, just plowed right through it.
Yo, that was so
I thought
crazy.
He was going to use that opportunity to try to get out of the car and flee, but he hasn't
crazy for a while,
made any maneuvers like that going down side streets to make that move. But I'll tell you this, San Fernando PD right there on his track from the very beginning.
Yeah, they are still right there, and we did see after they busted through the gate, briefly speeds up to 80 miles an hour and then kind of backed off. I mean, we're up just slightly, well, right about the speed limit here, and again, getting on the freeway with no windshield there to block the air, this is just got to be difficult on this suspect right now. 65 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour. Wide open freeways, not too often we get to say that about the 405. So where are they headed? I mean, it's almost just like they're joyriding right now, not making any real serious effort to get away from the police? Are they just running out the clock, knowing that the jig is up at some point? Are they just going to run this until this Prius is out of gas? I wish we knew how much this Prius had, because as we know, they are gas sippers. These little Priuses, if they are full of gas, they can go a very, very long time. But, you know, we don't know just how much obviously is in the tank of this totally busted up car. Just so wild to see this. But northbound 405, so we came south from San Fernando down towards Burbank, then north, then south. Now we're going north again. We've been in the San Fernando Valley the entire time with San Fernando PD, which if people are, you know, some people may be unfamiliar that there is even a city of San Fernando. It is its own independent city in the northeast corner of the valley. Pretty cool little area, and it is their small police department that is still in hot pursuit of this vehicle here as we make our way through Van Nuys and towards the 118 freeway.
Yeah, and Des,
a Prius using up most of the resources for that little town, I guess.
Got this for right now. We don't need any help. We're going to stay on this and handle this ourselves.
That is what we've been hearing. They, I guess, just wanted the helicopter from LAPD, of course. They don't have their own helicopter, and I'm not sure if they contract with LA County Sheriff's deputies. I'm guessing not, because it's such a small city. Maybe they contract with LAPD since they're surrounded by the city of Los Angeles. But apparently there was some active chatter between LAPD and San Fernando PD if LAPD was going to take it over on the ground, and San Fernando said, no, we are taking this. So they do have LAPD's air support, but that is it. Otherwise, on the ground, this is all tiny San Fernando PD on this one, and we are trending back that way, northbound on the 405. If we cross the 118, the next two off-ramps from there would get you towards the city of San Fernando. But this has just been a pretty aimless pursuit, just kind of looking like maybe one of those pursuits where the suspect's trying to run out the clock as far as they can, as long as it'll go. Maybe they have an idea of where they think they can get out of the car and run, or what they can do, but or if they're thinking that San Fernando PD is just going to get tired of this and give it up. But that we don't have any reason to believe that after everything we've seen. Yeah. They are still on this one, and this is a rare thing for them. Again, it's such a small city, extremely rare for them to get into pursuits. This could even very well be this officer's first pursuit that they've ever covered. So, a lot of interesting things going on here.
Yeah, okay. Des, and got to tell you this, the owner of this car is going to be so mad once they do see all the damage that was done by the suspect. We just confirmed that this is a stolen vehicle as police are in pursuit of this suspect, which started in San Fernando. As for San Fernando PD continues to chase this suspect, we are also still trying to work out, our assignment desk is trying to figure out the circumstances surrounding the theft of the car, but we have confirmed this is a stolen vehicle. This, as we approach North Hills, still north.
It says, and this is from 2022, it says the population of San Fernando, 24,000 people. So it's kind of a small place. I don't know what it's up to now. And it is interesting that they're, I guess, adamant to keep this chase. They don't want to hand it off to any other agency, I guess. Very,
very popular targets for catalytic converter theft as well.
Right.
So it's just a lot of issues. But usually it's the Kias and the Hyundais that we talk about with the stolen vehicles. But with this, it is a Prius, and boy, a busted one up at that. And he is cutting over towards the right-hand shoulder. Very common tactic here by these suspects that think that they could pull a last-second lane change to try to evade the authorities, but it did not work. And we are headed eastbound 118, and so we are headed back towards San Fernando. So we've really looped all the way around now. We basically did a pretty big tour of the eastern half of the San Fernando Valley as we make the transition eastbound 118 back into Pacoima and towards the city of San Fernando, which doesn't actually touch any freeways, but gets pretty close. So I don't know. We'll just see what the suspect's next maneuver is going to be.
All right, Des, I was just about to ask you, did this guy just do a big circle here in the San Fernando Valley? And also when it comes to San Fernando PD, in your experience, How long do they let these things play out, or how aggressive do they get, especially after that maneuver that we saw involving this suspect just plowing right through that gate?
Well, it's really hard to say because it is such a rarity. Like I said, I believe this is the very first San Fernando PD pursuit that I've ever covered. But speaking from experience with these,
what I think happened there when he hit that gate, there's like two poles. He hit it, and then it's like the pole rammed back into the car, into the windshield, and broke it. Imagine that pole impaled his ass in the head or in the chest, and was like right in his neck or something. He's lucky, man. That thing, it looked like that thing kind of came flying back into the car and it pushed the windshield in.
A lot of these stolen vehicle pursuits, they end up just getting terminated altogether. They just make the determination, we'll try to get the suspect at another time when it's less dangerous to the public. But that's typically not the case with CHP, and that's typically not the case with the smaller departments either. They operate with different protocols, and it's hard to say, why they do or don't do any particular thing, but just in my experience from what we've seen, they tend to be on the more aggressive side, and the fact that you continue to see them sticking with that after what we've seen, it kind of lends some credence to that theory.
Well, the Prius hauling out.
All right, Des, thank you so much. The suspect still trying to get away from police. We are in Arleta right now. This all started once again in San Fernando, then went over to Burbank, this Toyota Prius.
People have died for less. You know how you heard of those stories of people like throwing rocks at cars on the highway and stuff? Flies right through the windshield.
Stolen
he's picking up speed.
Prius pursuit here. Once again, San Fernando Valley, then over to Burbank, and then through North Hollywood. A lot of close calls there on the way, just like we saw just there. And then in that same area there in North Hollywood, we saw this suspect just go right through this gate, shattering the windshield, and then getting right back on the street, on the freeway, and still trying to get away from police. Once again, we have confirmed this is a stolen vehicle. San Fernando PD staying with this chase. We know LAPD's airship is above, but right now San Fernando PD is saying to everyone, back off, we're going to stay with this, and they are on this suspect's tracks as he still here on the freeway, going speeds up to 90 miles per hour, over 90 miles per hour now. Yeah. I agree. Des,
you guys in the chat saying he doesn't give a ish. Like, it could end badly.
I mean, we're up to. This is really wild right now. I mean, and again, no windshield, or at least a huge hole in the windshield right there. And so now,
right? Imagine what the inside. You know how you're on the highway and just the windows just cracked and you're annoyed as fuck, or maybe the window's a little bit down. Imagine the entire windshield like caved in and all this wind blowing.
It looked like the authorities were kind of losing the vehicle as we widen out. They're suddenly not behind him right now.
Smoked them. San Fernando.
They're about a mile behind, my pilot is saying, and that may, if they're trying to switch out units or what the deal is, or maybe they're trying to determine if they still want to stick with this or what, but. And now they may be trying to catch back up, but they got stuck behind some traffic. And again, the authorities have to obviously balance everything with public safety in mind. These suspects clearly don't care about that and are going to do anything they can to get away. And so now we are starting to see the highest speeds that we've seen so far here as we blast southbound on the 5. So we were getting back towards San Fernando, but now we are getting pretty clearly into Burbank. See the spotlight there, though, from LAPD. They are still watching this one from the air, even though they're not too close at the moment from the ground.
Yeah, Des, this is growing in concern, especially here at 8:30. We talked about this earlier, about the fireworks and the celebrations and the 4th of July celebrations really starting to go away.
What the hell is he doing?
Is that him going through the...
Yeah, that was... Yeah, wow, just way off the freeway and romping right through that gas station without even stopping. That was another pretty crazy maneuver right there. So now we are off just as we were about to get into Burbank, staying in LAPD's area here. So back in that industrial area, we're actually not too far away from where that suspect pulled that insane maneuver going through that locked gate and busting up the vehicle. Sunland Boulevard, Vineland Avenue, not too far away from that at all. Maybe you know, a mile at most. As the darkness begins to set in here on the East San Fernando Valley, but the spotlight there from LAPD overhead. And let's just widen out and see. We're still not seeing the authorities right on the ground, but apparently they're not too far behind. So, you know, you were going to think if the suspect wanted to make like a serious attempt to get away, they might have been the chance to do that. But now, I mean, now they're even obeying. And they're stopping behind the vehicle. They even got their light on. But here we go. San Fernando PD is back. They are back. They are back in this one as the suspect so kindly uses their turn signal here to make the turn onto Strathern Street. There are definitely some dead ends in this area. So is this aimless driving? Does the suspect have any kind of strategy at all? We will see here as they cross right below us here. So kind of zigging and zagging around the Sun Valley area and now kind of doubling back towards the 5 freeway.
And as San Fernando PD, they had to do some speedy driving to catch up to this guy. At one point, I saw him there clocking 113 miles per hour. Yeah, right. Now he makes another circle, still trying to evade police. Des, you know, I was looking at the traffic there, and we talked about the celebrations and all of that going on. You know, in your experience, is the light traffic, is that worse because the driver can go faster? Because we've seen him just on some of these roads just free.
Switch.
All right, it seemed like
there's less traffic, they can go faster, but there's less people that they're endangering. And, you know, if the roads are more crowded, you know, it's then they can't drive as fast, but they pull crazy stuff like that right there, going in the center divider and to get around traffic. So I would say it's probably overall better that the roads are less crowded right now, because a lot of these suspects, they don't care if the roads are crowded. They'll go to the wrong side of the road. They'll go on the center divider. They'll go on the right-hand shoulder to get around if need be. And, you know, we've seen that a couple of times as we cross over now to Sunland Boulevard. So we are on the east side of the 5 freeway now, and just dancing around the eastern San Fernando Valley, all different areas here as we continue to roll back northbound away from Burbank and in LAPD's jurisdiction, and over basically on the right-hand shoulder. No, actually they are in the right-hand lane right there. You got that spotlight there from LAPD. San Fernando PD, they're here they come. They're going to be back in the shot here in just a moment, but they are still sticking with this one. And you know, like I said, if they were going to try a pit maneuver or something like that, I feel like we would have seen it by now.
Multiple opportunities.
There hasn't been any talk about spike strips or anything like that. But
they don't even have spike strips.
And because San Fernando is such a small department, there is a very high likelihood that the lead unit in this pursuit may not have a lot of experience with this kind of stuff, because it is just not something that happens in that small jurisdiction very often. Getting a great look at LAPD's helicopter right there with their spotlight, and you see the air support there. And
how many people are in the LAPD
continue rolling now into the Shadow Hills area, kind of on the east side of the Hanson Dam. A lot of equestrian properties here, upscale, very nice neighborhood, kind of extends into the foothills.
And Des, I was just thinking about this when the suspect showed his great desperation to get away from police when he did go through that gate and shattered the front windshield of this Prius. It made me think about the glass that came into the car, but not only that, but possibly into his face and his eyes, which would, you know, make it hard for him to drive out there, especially, you know, as the night falls.
It's actually driving better.
Totally. I mean, is it really worth all of this consternation, all of this discomfort? I mean, so many times there's something else going on with these suspects, if they have a rap sheet, or what. That's not something that we'll be privy to until, long after this is over, if we're able to get any kind of follow-up on this. But it's just insane, the type of risks that you constantly see these suspects taking over something like a stolen vehicle, which we know in LA County a lot of times is a misdemeanor, a lot of times it might not even get you any jail time. But then you go and you pull something like this with where you run from the cops and do all kinds of crazy stuff, and it's going to be a totally different story once this is all said and done. So and there just really doesn't seem to be any idea where this suspect is going. We've covered so many areas now as we are. This is the first time that we're leaving the San Fernando Valley and headed kind of towards the Crescenta Valley and Tujunga, which will still be in the city of Los Angeles unless we continue into La Cañada, Flint Ridge, and beyond. But where are they headed now? As we get it right through that red light there, and the next freeway will be the 210. And are we going to take the 210 now? We're going to go underneath the 210, continuing on to Sunland. So we're basically in Sunland, actually more like the Tujunga.
This might be the guy from earlier.
No, you know what? I would say we are. Just one second here, guys. We're having one issue up here. Chauncey, let me just toss it back to you real quick.
All right. If you're just joining us, we are watching police chase this stolen Prius. This chase started in San Fernando. San Fernando Police Department handling this chase. We know this Prius went through Burbank and then also went through several. Did he come to a stop?
He's running.
I see him running there.
Yeah, came to a stop. Yeah, really glad this one is over here, as the suspect is out and running, and they hopped through a gate there, it looked like. Here comes San Fernando PD. We'll see if we're able to get to the other side of this gate here really quickly. But out here and running, it looks like they do have them under the spotlight. There they are. There's the suspect right there.
Still going.
Out here running all over the place. But they got to another locked community, and now, here comes somebody here. Oh, geez. They just wondered, what is going on?
Yeah.
Here's the suspect here running in this nice little, looks like a little community here onto someone's patio. But they've got the spotlight here from LAPD. So they're going to try to guide San Fernando PD in here.
What is this? Is this like an apartment complex or?
It's nice.
It looks like an apartment complex here. There's kind of a little brushy area here. It might be kind of difficult for LAPD to keep tabs on them now. So they are trying to guide these officers in here right now off of Wingate and Sunland Boulevard. So if you live in the area and you see the big spotlight, that is a suspect that is running around in this community and trying to evade. And now this is now, they doesn't look like they have eyes on this suspect. They might have lost him here underneath those trees, and this is a big complex that was locked. The San Fernando PD couldn't get their vehicles in. We saw him out there running on foot. They were keeping up with him for a bit, but he was hopping all over the place. Hopping over some walls, over some fences. There they are, out running around.
Back again.
He was good. Into.
He should have stayed in the trees and kept moving.
Into the parking garage. He's going into a garage right there.
He just went into someone's garage.
That garage.
You see, man.
And Des, I don't know did you see this, or did the suspect come in contact with someone else? It's I thought I saw him run past another neighbor, but there's police, and I don't think that officer knows that he just went into. He's shining his light over there. No, he has no idea. That's the garage.
Yeah, it looks like they may have some trouble communicating right here. I'm not sure if LAPD's helicopter is able to communicate with the radios with San Fernando PD. Those are encrypted radios, so that could be communication. He's got the spotlight right there. He's trying to shine it on him, but the officer keeps walking the other way here. But that garage that just happened to be open there,
just a little bit.
Here we go.
How could you not check there?
It was just opened up a little bit. But now this one seems to know. he sees what's going on. I think he's going to be calling for backup.
Get some backup. Get some backup.
He's not going to want to go in there by himself. You know, they have no idea if the suspect is armed and dangerous or what the deal is.
The big ass sunlight pointed at it.
Another part to this, Des, we don't know if who's inside this home. We don't know if a family was here inside the home at the time, but it just so happened crazy that this particular garage was just ajar enough where this suspect could. Now I see the garage coming up.
Who opened that shit?
Yep. And these garages too. Look, there's like a little common area here. Oh boy!
Is.
And this
somebody else.
person right here.
Is that him?
I mean, we saw.
That's Mama.
No, that looks like the resident. But okay, now she's pointing him out. I mean, he may have gone in and then into this yard right here, and maybe even hopped some fences. So she's trying to direct him around, because obviously the garage will have a door that goes into this little patio area to the rear of that property. So he may have come out the other end and then even hopped behind some fences there while we were focused on that garage. So this is really a problem now for the authorities, or may have even gone through the house. We don't know, but we only had a couple of units that were in pursuit, and that suspect unfortunately had some pretty fast legs and were able to hop and leap around and get away from the police for about a minute. And even with the benefit from the spotlight, that suspect was able. Right there. They're going in. I think I just saw.
Oh my gosh!
Right there.
Right there in the corner. And Des, you've got to give it to LAPD with this spotlight, tonight. This spotlight is really, really helping San Fernando PD as they try to find this guy. Because even at that one point, you saw one of the officers just walk right by that garage that the suspect had just gone into seconds before.
Be gone if it wasn't for LAPD.
Well, I mean, boy, this suspect is very sneaky. I got to tell you, it makes me think it's not their first rodeo with this. But we saw him just kind of.
It seems like to me there's a little bit of a lack of communication for whatever reason, because it's the LAPD and the chopper, but it's I guess San Fernando Police, and so.
Out the front door. No, those are shadows right there. I'll see if they're going to come out the front door, or if they're going to try to hide in the house. But this is pretty scary. I mean, now we basically have a home invasion going on. At the end of a stolen vehicle pursuit, as this person commandeers their home to try to get away. So there was a lot of public danger on the streets earlier, and now a totally different kind of dangerous situation in this community in Sunland.
Yeah, I was going to ask Des, this is very dangerous and so concerning, because like I said, you don't know who's home, who's not. The garage that this suspect entered, someone ended up being inside of this home. The woman, we saw her come out and talk with that officer. So we don't know. But what we do know is that this guy is desperate to get away from police. Do we know how these?
When it came into the garage, those cops walking by that didn't know. You would have been, hey, what are you? Like, you would have heard me making a huge commotion. There would be no question.
The homes,
but maybe she was probably just confused.
Those courtyards.
Yeah, I mean, he was in the little courtyard there that connects the garage with the home, and then we saw him kind of try to slip in, and it sure looked like he tried to go in the home. And you have to imagine that it was probably unlocked from the lady that came into the garage trying to see what all of this ruckus was about. So it could have been very easy entrance for him to get in, unless he's still hiding there and then hopped into another yard. That's why we're kind of keeping this wide shot, trying to look at both sides here. It's just become a very difficult situation to keep tabs on.
There's no cops either.
This is just we say it all the time, when you get in the heat of the moment and the suspect is out on foot. They, especially if they're really quick like that suspect was, they only need a couple of seconds to get away from the authorities. And even if you have a helicopter overhead, you've got awnings, you've got trees, you've got bushes, you've got all these kind of hiding places, you've got covered patios. And I mean, it's possible that the suspect may have even slipped out and is underneath one of these awnings. So, and we only had 3 units that were involved in this. Here come a couple more officers that they're going to want to make sure that they have enough backup before they even go inside. But the longer they take, the longer that gives the suspect to potentially get out and get towards, a million other hiding places.
Exactly. And it seemed like it happened so fast. In the beginning, you said that this was a gated apartment complex, which that might have slowed down the officers to try to get in to, get on his tracks. But is this apartment complex gated, Des? And also, did he just come off the road and get past the gate?
Well, yeah, I'd be curious if we're able to re-rack that video, but it looked like he just kind of slipped past one of the gates, or there might have been a walkway. The gate was for cars to get in, but the community itself may be more open, and he was able to kind of run around. This is a pretty big development. As I widen now, this is one of those larger kind of like garden type communities, I guess you could say. You see up in the upper right hand corner, that's where the pursuit came to an end with the vehicle. But look at how much area we've covered on foot since then to get in here. And I mean, San Fernando still has their vehicles parked out there, like maybe they haven't been able to get their cars in here. We've seen all these officers coming run into this area.
What a mess. I mean, usually those cops, like if they're in your city, I mean, at least here in Florida, like your city cops, they have like some sort of like universal shit. They can get the cops coming to my place all the time. They're not entering a code. I don't think they do. I thought they had some type of thing where maybe they do enter a code. I thought they had some type of universal access for cops or some shit, whatever. But because these guys are from San Fernando, maybe they're not even from this area. I guess I have no idea where they're at. It says Sunland. Whatever, I guess they don't have access with their vehicles, so they've had to physically run in. They can't get their cars in, I guess.
We want to show you the moment when this suspect got into this community. You see he slips right there into that garage that was just slightly open, and then goes into that courtyard there. Police have no idea where he is. They have no idea that he's entered that garage. And you see LAPD airship above trying to shine the light on that garage to let San Fernando PD know and alert them that he's gone into that garage, but they still don't get with him. But I don't know where he went beyond that. It's interesting to see those courtyards. They connect, but it looks like, Des, they can easily jump from one courtyard to the other.
Yeah, and we know the suspect was very capable of that based on their agility back when they were out on foot. But San Fernando PD still not making entry on this situation. Not sure if there's some kind of protocol issue here or what. I mean, they have 4 or 5 officers here right now, and we saw them out there speaking with the resident. The spotlight from LAPD continues to try to illuminate this otherwise awfully dark.
Often means saving
down
lives,
here,
overtaking,
but still
as we fly.
No movement from the authorities on trying to move in and get this suspect. And now it's been so long. If they do go in, is the suspect even still going to be there?
I think if this guy kept it pushing, if he's not inside the house and he kept it pushing, and he slipped under these under the roof, stuck close to the building, and snuck off into the trees, I think he could be long gone. He could be out of there. If he's still here in the vicinity and he's still right there somewhere, then they'll probably get him. But
all of the officers have disappeared, if you will. I don't see any officers on the scene.
They're right here, and here come maybe even a couple more.
On that road. Yeah.
And now, and I'm not sure if these are all still San Fernando PD or if LAPD is giving any ground support now that we are in their jurisdiction and this has come to an end. I wouldn't be surprised if they come, just because again we're kind of far from San Fernando, and it's going to would be very taxing for them to bring any more units as it is to have any more of their units come and get in this. But my pilot is saying that they do have a perimeter set up, so in theory then so you can see right down here at the bottom off of this is actually off of the 210 exit right here. So we're right off of the 210 freeway, right up against the Foothill Freeway. You can see a unit that is down there, maybe CHP, that is right by the wall, just in case the suspect is able to slip out and they want to go over the wall or something like that. So they are attempting to lock this area down. But I just wonder if it's too late, because it's just so dark out here, And okay,
PLZ, don't forget to like the video, y'all, and happy 4th, everyone. Blue heart, white heart, red heart. Thanks, Mel, for spending your night with his purple heart, purple heart.
The home yet, so maybe they want to lock everything around the home down first before they make entry. That way, if they go in and they find him and he decides to run out of the home, they're going to have other officers waiting there to slap him in handcuffs. So that may be what they're doing right now, but they are still have not made entry into the garage, which leads to the unit where we last saw the suspect at.
Right. Des, what is to the left of this apartment building, or this community, if you will? Because I don't see any areas where he could have gotten away, or no, there's a street right there. So he very well could have gotten over that courtyard fence and then took a run for it and then went down this street.
It's possible. I mean, I'm not sure how high the wall is right there. I believe that's going to be like a public storage facility. Yep, that's exactly what that is. That is pretty well lit, but there is quite a bit of brush between the apartment complex and where that is. So kind of hard to say, but it's still, there's a couple more officers here. They're probably scouring all around this kind of thick, little bit of a wooded area right here on the perimeter of this apartment or condo complex. So probably checking all of that first before they decide to go in the house. And, and then I'm not sure if it's a matter of if they need the homeowner's permission to go in there or what the deal is, but whatever their protocol is, it looks like they're going through it right now before they decide to go any farther. But, we're listening to LAPD's helicopter up here right now, and just based on the movements of the spotlight, the suspect is not yet in custody. I think I just saw, a couple of officers here at the front of the house. So now they're right there in the front. That's the first that we've seen them, right in front of the unit there where the suspect was. So they've got the home pinned down now on both sides, and maybe we will see some entry here soon.
Des, didn't you see the lady come out, the homeowner possibly come out and talk with those officers? And it looked like she was pointing in a direction that he might have gone in. This is after he entered the home and may have gotten into that courtyard and then jumped the fence. Didn't we see the homeowner, a lady, come out and talk to officers and sort of directing like, oh, he went that way, he went that way? Right there, there's a video.
It looked like it, yeah. Yep, she is down there underneath the spotlight with them. She's still with them, and it definitely looked like that's what we saw.
There you see that suspect, she was pointing right there. I don't know if you can see that video.
Did you see him right in there?
Yep, right. No, on this is earlier, the earlier video that we were running. This is when he got inside of the home and he was sort of in that courtyard area, and it looked like when he disappeared into, I don't know if that was another unit or another courtyard or another part of this particular house where he entered the garage.
Yeah, it looked like it was the same courtyard that was connected from the garage that he entered right here. I remember these mailboxes right here, and then it was in this courtyard, and then we saw him just kind of slip through the patio and look like he was going into the sliding door. That's certainly what it looked like, but the authorities are still on both sides here now, the front and the rear of that unit. They have not gone in yet, so it's still unclear what the holdup is on this one, but sometimes they take a long time to do this. Want to make sure that they have all their ducks in a row, or they may be waiting for additional backup, or they may be waiting for some ballistic shields or helmets or some equipment like that. These officers are not equipped with that stuff. It appears. Again, we're talking about a very, very small department here at San Fernando PD. Most likely the second smallest police force in Los Angeles County. Led them here into the Sunland area off of Sunland Boulevard in the 210. Here's some more officers down there, getting a pretty good look there thanks to LAPD spotlight. But are they going to be going in the home? It looks like I see a little bit of talk on their shoulder-mounted radios there. Definitely a lot of communication going on, but it's just so crazy what the suspect has done to evade capture so far. Everything that we've seen, And at least at the moment, they're still not in custody. They still have the possibility of getting away, especially now that it is so dark. I mean, we saw them go into the home, but there's the patio right next door is covered. There's a lot of darkness. It's not even for sure that suspect is still inside that person's home.
Right, but it seems like they have a perimeter. You have officers on seemingly both sides of the home, the garage, and then the other side, which may be the entrance of the home. But I want to show that video one more time to viewers once. Actually, let's start right here, showing his great desperation here as he goes through the gates right there, just busting open those gates and shattering the windshield, getting back on the highway, going up speeds up to 112 miles per hour.
That's the thing too. They were saying it's like a small, I guess, town or city. The department might not have all the resources, because I feel like LAPD, they got that stuff kind of with them, or somebody close by with the shields and stuff and helmets. And so if this guy's in the house, I don't know if they're gonna want protection. They're gonna want to be safe. And then they're like out of their town too. They're not even in their shit. They're way out of their own town. They can't bring their cars in, it looks like, into the complex. So
see the suspect there still running, trying to find a place to hide. Look, he finds just a little bit of room right there to crawl under that garage and go right inside that home. The homeowner opens the garage and comes out and starts to talk with this officer. But this is what I want to show you. Zoom in when we see him in the courtyard right here. Yeah. Look, just right there in the blue. Then he just disappears, and we don't know where that suspect goes from there. Des.
Yep, that's right. And just showing you here, I was seeing if our map tracker would give us a better locator than just Sunland. I'll widen out and show you the area that we're talking about off of Sunland Boulevard. There's LAPD's helicopter, Sunland and Wingate. The 210 freeway is what you see on the bottom there of the screen. So we were just trying to ask the helicopter overhead, like, hey, are you guys, are they going to make entry soon? And they're not sure. It sounds like there are some communication issues here between LAPD's helicopter and San Fernando PD's ground units right there. Most likely their radios don't talk to each other, because those we believe those are encrypted radios, like so many of the smaller communities are in LA, Orange County, and the Inland Empire. So the helicopter couldn't even tell us if they were getting ready to go in or what the delay is on all of this. But my guess, this could very well end up turning into a SWAT situation. Would not be surprising at all, where they may be calling LA County Sheriff's deputies. They would probably be the ones that would come in, or maybe LAPD with their SWAT team. We'll see. It's just not known at this point if that's what they're planning on doing. I mean, they're right here at the front door of the home. I'm sure they're calling out to the suspect. That's going to be the first thing that they do. They're going to do lots of call-outs. They'll probably use a loudspeaker on both the back driveway and at the front door to get through to the suspect, to let him know, look, you're cornered, you're surrounded, it's over, come out now, before we force our way in. That's probably what's happening right now. And then are they going to, if the suspect refuses to come out and surrender, then there is the likelihood that they will call either LAPD, since this is in LA, or they'll call sheriff's deputies to come in with their Bearcats and their big armor, and this could turn into an hours-long situation. No. So, unknown, but they haven't shown any interest in going inside yet. I don't think that, I'm getting the impression that that's not going to be changing anytime soon. So this could be trending towards a long, drawn-out conclusion here in Sunland for this stolen vehicle suspect, Chauncey.
Right. And here on the 4th of July, you just don't want to have a scene like this, especially for the folks at home who are waiting to watch the fireworks, and also the folks here in this community who now have to hunker down because this suspect is not in police custody just yet. This, as officers are waiting and have this home surrounded as this suspect is holed up inside of this home. We are going to continue to watch this pursuit suspect situation as he is still trying to evade police, and police still trying to find him at this point as they are waiting to enter this house.
Hey, Chauncey, just want to mention Pat Harvey here. I'll be joining. I'm here on the desk with you, beginning to start the 9 o'clock, waiting for Juan Fernandez, and with Desmond Shaw overhead. Just want to ask both of you guys, has it been established that this person, the suspect, knows the person whose home or garage that he got into?
No, this was random. As a matter of fact, Pat, all of the garage doors were closed, and he found one garage that was just slightly open, and he crawled into that garage and got into this home. And then seconds later, and then also after that, though, one of the San Fernando police officers, he comes right by him and right by the garage, and then the LAPD airship just shines the light to show him, hey, that's the garage that he went in, and he's been in there ever since. So, but yeah, so thanks for joining us here for the news at 8 o'clock. I'm going to toss it over to Pat and Juan for the news at 9.
Okay, thanks so much, Chauncey and Desmond. Let's get back up to you while Juan is getting his microphone on. Just want to establish something else here as well. Do we know that he is in a home, or is he in between some of those homes there?
Well, Pat, we believe that we saw the suspect go into this unit right here. So they came into, this is the garage right here near the mailboxes where the door was just slightly ajar. They were able to crawl inside. It's pretty dark down there. They're just kind of at the mercy of LAPD's spotlight. There it is right there. You can see that door that leads from the garage to the little patio, and then from the patio into the home.
The property is just pitch black.
And it looks like he's in the home right now, Pat.
Okay, and that's also so very weird because we saw maybe that was the homeowner come out and talk to police. So that has to be a very disconcerting situation for them as well. Okay, well, Desmond, stand by. We're going to come right back out to you, but we're about to start the 9 p.m. hour, and it certainly has been a sizzling hot 4th of July.
Boom. 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 No, well, Sky Fox is out there. You can watch a little bit of that. They're still alive. These choppers sometimes they'll stay for a while, but they're not gonna. Well, they got to refuel too, but they're not gonna stay for hours and hours because sometimes this shit just pans out for hours and hours and hours. I don't know if there's anybody else live. It looks like Fox is leaving as well. Dipped out. I want to see the sky view. Maybe see some fireworks. KTLA. I think I just checked them. They're not live. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, there we go. Well, I guess I'll be looking for follow-ups on that. By the way, the chase earlier today, they caught those damn kids. They caught those rascals. Wilson posted the clip on Discord. One of the kids. I don't know what's going on with all the kids now. All the kids are doing all kinds of crime and shit. These teenagers. Look at this shit. A 9-year-old, and I think a 13-year-old, and I forget what other age. Yeah, I think the choppers are gone. I'll do a double check. No school. That's another thing. Right, reminds me of COVID, right? The parents are wilding out. The kids are wilding out. After these parents don't like their kids, so now they're stuck with them at the house and shit. Oh shit! Damn.
Me too.
I want to show this video. I don't know if I can show this or not. I was let me see. It's on Discord. I posted it the other day. with regards to Mama's Love, I've been in a really bad thing of watching all these airplane crashes, these documentaries. I can't stop watching it. I don't know how. I don't think I can fly again after watching all this shit. A lot of them is like older stuff, I think. I don't want these people to copyright me. Let me see if I can play it in a smaller window. Let me show you this shit. I gotta show you this. Anyway, there was this story about this terrorist that took over an airplane back in the day. And one of the terrorists, he was like wilding out. I think they had killed like 2 people on the plane or something like that. And it's true stories, but they do like reenactments, right? And at one point, they bring this terrorist mother out there, out to the airport, to the tarmac and shit. Oh, this guy lost it. Mama's Love, bro. I was watching that shit the other day and I thought about you guys. I was like, oh, I gotta clip it. That was a really crazy story because he, those terrorists, I forgot the name of the place. They wanted to take the plane to Paris, I think is what it was. Is that the one I'm thinking of? Or am I thinking of the other? Yeah. They wanted to take the plane to Paris. They wanted to crash it into the tower. But they didn't tell the passengers that. What they told the passengers was that we just want to go to Paris. Oh, it was Algeria. They told the passengers, like, hey, we just want to go to Paris and we're going to have a press conference. And so at first they weren't Algerian military. They were not letting them leave. And so, it was so fucking cool, though. I wonder if I could show the video. It was crazy. Algeria, Air France, hijack. They have actual video, too, from when it happened. I don't know which is the one that I saw. Is it this one? It's this one. I just want to show like the last part. It was incredible. So they were in Algeria and they killed like 2 or 3 people, the terrorists, and France was like, listen, let them come here because we'll take care of this shit. You guys are playing around. Bring them over here. And so they didn't go to Paris first. They made a different stop. So they were supposed to like refuel. When they went to this different stop, this is where the setup was at. And so they went to this different stop, and then they had their special military forces. And what they ended up doing, it was crazy. The terrorists were really pissed. The terrorists kept telling them, listen, we're just going to take you there. You guys are going to be safe. They found out later on that the actual plan was that the terrorists were just bullshitting and they were lying, and they actually planned to fly the plane. This was before 9/11. They're planning on flying the plane into the tower.
The attack.
So this is what they did. They brought those rolling elevator shits to the doors of the height. So they're having issues. And the terrorists, they thought that you couldn't open the doors from the outside, but apparently you can open it from the outside. They thought it was just locked in and that was it. Mayhem, bro. Mayhem. Then the dopest shit, they had snipers out there, and so I think they shot one of the terrorists through this window or whatever. They had snipers on the roof. It was crazy, man. I can't believe how flying was back then. I mean, they back in the day, they didn't even really lock the cockpits, or they had like weak doors at the cockpits.
Stop. Then we said, all right, it's over.
Fini, et on dit, ça y est, c'est bon, c'est terminé.
But it's not over yet for the captain and his flight engineer. The GIGN are not sure who were the terrorists and how many are.
So yeah, I've been just freaking diving down into all these videos. It's crazy. It's scary, man. What can happen in the air? I mean, and the technology in airplanes too is pretty amazing. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that I can fly again. Ixana. So she said, Ixana says, security measures are written in blood. I've always heard that saying, right? And it's so true. And the more and more that I've watched a lot of these documentaries about these plane crashes, even some YouTuber plane crashed and all this stuff. There's a YouTuber, Tennessee girl, flying with her father. And you can see her videos on YouTube, and you can see she had issues flying that plane a lot of the time. She had an iPad on the side, the shit to navigate, which I guess is not that uncommon or not that crazy, I guess, if you're depending on your altitude. But she ended up crashing and killing her dad. There was this other one, crazy video too, that I saw the other day. Some of the stories is like almost unbelievable. And then I think I saw some statistic that 70%, I don't know if that statistic is still true, of like airplane crashes is pilot error. Sometimes it's weather. I mean, there's been a couple of things that it was mechanical. There's literally been hundreds and hundreds of people that have had to die for them to like make some of the regulations that keeps us alive today. This channel, if you want to watch the documentary, hold on, I'll tell you right now. Okay, I like this channel a lot. It's called Mayday Air Disaster. There's a couple of other ones that I like a lot too, but the Mayday one, I really like how they reenact it. And not only that, they do reenacting, but they also, what's really dope is that they actually bring on the actual people, the actual survivors, the pilots, the police, like whatever. So like they'll do reenacting, but then they'll also have these people that some of these people don't even want to show their face. They're still afraid that these terrorist people want to come and get their ass. So like they're like this black silhouette. I'll put the link for this in the description. This is one of my favorite channels that I've been deep diving, but I just want to warn you. I don't know if you go down that path, I don't think you can ever come back. I don't know if you can ever come back after all the shit that I've been watching. Mayday Air Disaster. Mayday Air Disaster. I'm going to add it to the description of this video if you want to check them out. I find it really, really interesting and fascinating. The last week and a half, I've been watching it. And I'm just kind of shocked. And just like learning about a little bit like the engines. And I mean, there's been so many mistakes. Planes going into the air and the people that fuel the plane miscalculating it. And there was some glitch in the airplane that didn't tell the proper fuel. So now you have to land the airplane with no engines, just gliding fucking through the air and shit. Oh my God. There was one that I really liked recently too that, let me see if I can find it. Oh, this was nuts. This one was nuts too, man. Bro. This shit, I think I watched this yesterday. I could not get over this. There's this psychopath. What's the guy's name? I remember this guy's name. There was this FedEx flight, right? This is a real story. They had a cargo flight. Because I even looked up the guy. I think he has a life sentence or 2 life sentences. This dude, he was supposed to get on this flight, but it didn't end up happening because I forgot why. They changed the crew or whatever. And so this dude was desperate to get on this flight. And so what he did was, I guess with FedEx, like if you're an employee, you can take flights to different places for whatever reasons. And so he packed this little guitar, but he actually had a hammer and a spear gun. And his plan was to kill the crew inside, 3 crew, kill these people inside, and crash the plane and make it look like some type of freak accident because him and his wife, things weren't working out. And his job stuff wasn't working out. This is the guy right here. And so he plotted this whole fucking plan. These people, this guy, out of nowhere, this dude, let me show you this. The reason he brought like a hammer or like these little things, because he was thinking that when the airplane crashes, well, they won't be able to really tell it was a hijacking. Not only that, he got on the plane and he turned off the voice, the black box that records. He turned that shit up because he didn't, apparently that box records the last 30 minutes of a flight. So he turned it off. But even if it was turned back on, I think his plan was to like kill the people and then fly the plane for 30 minutes and then crash it. So they didn't get any evidence on the voice box recorder. So this little sneaky fuck, weirdo fuck,
The original plan was to take out his original crew, which would have only been 2 individuals. One was a female, much smaller than the crew that he wound up facing.
Fighting, while the pilot is still flying this shit. And so the pilot's like, you know what? The only thing I can do is turn this shit fucking crazy. The plane, like, and then his family's going to collect life insurance. He was willing to kill these people because he felt inadequate, that he couldn't provide for his, like, family. And some of the people were speculating that he was just kind of, like, simping. Like, he couldn't provide. His wife didn't want him. He was, like, miserable, whatever.
Accident. But I suspect.
So this guy's name, his last name is Calloway. Auburn Calloway. You can look him up if you want to. He was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences on August 11, 1995. So he's still locked up, still in jail. He tried to get off and try to say like he had a mental breakdown or whatever. This is bad right here. Boy got a smile too. I could tell he's crazy. Hold on. It's really insane. You never know what people are willing to do, man. That's the scary thing about getting on a plane too. Like you never. I mean, you see even now some of these crazy people want to try to open the door. Though they say the door won't open if you're up at a certain altitude, but once you start like you're at a lower altitude or descending, you can open the door. And what happens is that, well, it depends how high you are or low you are. But if you're high enough, the whole place bloody badge. Auburn's bloody FedEx ID badge after his attack on the crew of Federal Express Flight 705. Bro. Yeah. Crazy. So yeah, if you want to check out that channel, I found it pretty interesting. I'm so shocked and surprised to hear all the different stories up in the air. I always think about like these commercial, like these passenger flights, and I never really think about all these cargo flights that are up in the air, flying. Debrief. He lied about his flying experience, yeah. It's interesting too, the effects that weather can have. I learned quite a few things, a little bit of things. I don't know if I'll retain it, but bro, I don't know. The next time I fly, I'm going to think about every video that I've watched. Anytime there's a little bit of turbulence or anything. Pilots falling asleep in the plane and shit. Oh my God. Yeah, you do. There was one lady. I mean, I saw a story about a pilot that for some reason his like windshield or whatever cracked and it sucked him out, but his body was hanging because his feet were stuck, and he survived. They managed to land the plane, emergency landing, and he survived. And I saw a plane, that part of the top of the plane towards the front row, right by the cockpit, but not the cockpit, like right behind the cockpit. The fucking roof came off. Just part of the plane, the roof came off. One of the stewardess, I think she went flying. One of the stewardess went flying. They managed to land the plane, though. The guy was saying he thought the plane was going to break apart, but like the thing just... I even saw something to that. Was it the window that busted, or one of the lady's side things busted and sucked her out? Sucked her right out. I think she was sitting next to the window and it sucked her out. That might be the next thing I go down. Purple. Oh. Kanye Pepper says, and you're right, yeah, FedEx repaired that plane and kept it in service. I like Mentor Pilot too. I've been watching Mentor Pilot, and there's another guy named Debrief. Debrief something? Debriefing. Debrief Pilot or something? Forgot his name. I've been watching. He has some really, Pilot Debrief. He has some really interesting stories. The Kobe story is really interesting. This guy has some good videos. Pilot Debrief. He has a lot of stories, but this is the YouTuber. Wait, that's not the YouTuber I was thinking about. I don't know if she's a YouTuber. This Kobe one was really good. I learned some things I didn't know about, like what happened that day with that pilot and the weather, and a really sad story. All right, I'm gonna call it a night. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Gonna go hang out with the family, relax, have a little bit of wine. 1982, a plane crash in New Orleans. Baby survived, and the officer that found her, Gerald Hibbs, I worked with him. Wow. Oh, you do? Yeah. All right, guys. Yeah, he was an F-15 pilot. Yep. He's retired now, I think, right? I did see that, Sinister Sister. Mel, have you seen the video where these maintenance workers get sucked into a pipe? It's so crazy, I guess, because like the pressure in the ocean, and one guy crawled for miles to get out of there. The one guy, I guess he was the only survivor. He has like survivor's guilt, I guess. And he was really upset. I've seen a couple of videos after of him speaking. They all got sucked into this pipe. There's video of it, like whether like, I guess they're opening it or something, and all you hear is just whoosh, like it's just. I mean, you don't even. It just flashes black, and they get sucked into this pipe, I guess, because of the air pressure. And one guy makes it out, crawling and crawling and crawling and crawling, and it was pipes that had water in it, and like they were submerged. It was crazy. And supposedly, I guess they deemed it too dangerous to go rescue the other people, so that they left the other people to die. And the survivor he wanted to go back, and they wouldn't let him. And supposedly, there was claiming that you could hear these people banging on the side of the pipes, wanting help, crying for help, and they just left him there to die. It was a crazy story. I think those underwater people too, the deep underwater. I forgot where they have these chambers where they take turns and they wear these suits. I forgot what they call them. They get paid a lot of money. Deep water. Deep water diver. There's another name. They stay in these chambers to saturation diving. That shit is nuts. That's just crazy. It's great. It's interesting to think about too, like the pressure that there is underwater, and then also the pressure that there is once you reach certain altitudes. And it's like we just have this perfect thing where we are at that works out for us. Because you suffocate. Like I don't know what the altitude is. At a certain altitude, you can't breathe, and you would suffocate. At what altitude? Okay. Death zone. It refers to altitudes above a certain point where the amount of oxygen is insufficient to sustain human life for an extended period of time. This point is generally tagged at 26,000 feet. I thought it'd be lower than that. I'm surprised. 26,000 feet. At 30,000 feet, while trying to breathe, the air in the lungs would expand so quickly they would, for the lack of a better term, explode. Really? Interesting. Like we're in this 14K feet, 26K feet. I love Dive Talk too. I watch those guys. The thing that I got caught up in too is the cave diving. Oh my god, I don't know how those people do it. I would never attempt to do something like that. Cave diving. It's kind of weird and crazy too to think about, like the pressure underwater, like with that submarine. How it just the submersible. But even there's like, if you look at submarine stories that have sunk, you know, and it, depending on how deep, it'll just implode on itself. Or submarine rescues, that's pretty interesting too. Underwater welders, yeah, they get a lot of money. How's high altitude to lose oxygen? All right, guys, I guess I'm gonna get out of here. Next week, I guess will be somewhat of a busy week. I mean, we have the trial starting Tuesday, I think, for Alec Baldwin. I'm gonna cover it. I guess it's gonna be a couple of days, maybe into the week after. I think they said 5 days. Turtle Boy's trial is supposed to be 2, so I don't know if they're gonna stream it. If they do, I'd like to check it out. 1 dead among 7 people shot in Philadelphia mass shooting. It happened in the final minutes of the 4th of July, 60th Street and Kingsing Avenue. 14-year-old is 7th shooting victim. Wow. Yeah, I know. You've been cave diving, Alan? Ugh. I agree. Dive talks really, I like watching them for sure. Yes, 1 atmosphere per 33 feet.